Alright guys, so there was a B patch, to my surprise, put up for 11.4, so I want to quickly run that down for y'all. To start with, Nassus, his mana cost is being reduced from 80 to 70. 60 was too much. Hopefully 70 is right. I wonder if a lot of the divine changes really um, hit Nasus more than the mana changes. So we'll see what this drop down to 70. To be honest, I didn't think the 60 to 80 at first was going to be that bad, and while it wasn't good, it firmly planted him probably in like C tier. Maybe this brings him back to B tier. I think it's okay to run if you get a chosen Nasus, especially if you get a Siphoner chosen Nasus, but it's probably not going to be an optimal comp. Nidalee's kind of the same. Nidalee reroll got hit really hard with the changes. The rework did what it was intended, but Nidalee's not carrying the way that Riot wants her. So they buffed the 2-star and the 3-star damage. This is the base damage, so not the per hex damage. I don't think this will probably impact her too much, but we'll find out on that. I think Nidalee is actually still playable, but if you don't have a front line, you can't play Nidalee. You have to have a really strong front line on Nidalee carry. Olaf, his cleave no longer triggers on Hurricane procs. We'll talk more about Hurricane, but this combined with what else changed, probably Hurricane may not be best in slot for Olaf anymore. But we'll talk about Hurricane in a second. To buff that, to change that, to add on to that, the Olaf's AD goes from 80 to 90. Because this was like basically doubling the damage. At least, like the amount of damage you were getting off having a Hurricane on Olaf was really high because of this additional cleave. Next, they fixed the Talon Bug. A lot of pros probably have been telling you not to play Talon because of this bug, but he no longer loses all of his mana if the target dies when he reaches full mana. It was a pretty big bug. This was actually... Now, on the side of that, Morgana is a better carry than Talon right now anyway, but a lot of the times you just put a Morello on Morgana and then build up Talon to help clean shop. Item changes. Quicksilver. Fixed bug where Quicksilver was preventing damage from Nasus Wither and blocking some non-CC effects. Not really that big a deal. Now here's probably one of the bigger changes on this patch. Hurricane. The Hurricane Bolt no longer benefits from damage amp. So this includes Slayer, Giant Slayer, and Hand of Justice. Slayer and Hand of Justice are probably the two biggest points of concern on this. Hand of Justice, like, if you were getting the damage bonus on Hand of Justice and you had a Hurricane equipped, it was obscene amounts of damage you could do, especially on like a champion with Olaf. Combined with Slayer, you were getting so much health back. Basically, the point is, you can't use Hurricane to do stacking of things like Slayer, Hand of Justice, Giant Slayer, Olaf Cleave, Tryndamere, massive AoE damage. That's kind of out the window. Now, where does this place Hurricane on the tier list of good things to use? Hurricane's still good with Sojourn. It's still good with Deathblade. But it's not good on Olaf at all anymore. It's actually probably really bad on Olaf. Probably still okay on Tryndamere, because Tryndamere works a little bit differently than Olaf, where Tryndamere gets a bunch of attack boost. And if I recall correctly, his spin attack counts as 3 auto attacks, which should proc Hurricane. Don't quote me on that, though. Anyway, that's it on this patch. Hope you all enjoy this patch, because I'm having a rough time of it myself, sadly. Have fun!